Hello, I'm Dr. Buck Weaver, and I'm a neuropsychologist and the director of the Weaver Center in Wayland, Massachusetts. And as often I say, because of my early diagnosis of dyslexia and attention deficit and organization issues, also leading to anxiety and depression. But I'm not going into those stories right now. But people have been giving me some great feedback on the videos, so thank you all. And giving me some good suggestions about other issues to cover. Yesterday, I had a great question. And the question was, do people with attention deficit ever get better at paying attention over the course of their lifetime, but particularly later in life if they've had difficulties? And the answer, I believe, is twofold. Number one, the older an individual gets, and the more that they are engaged in things of high interest, the less difficulty they have with paying attention, being productive, being excited. High interest is everything with regard to folks with attention deficit, because it's not really attention deficit. It's a deficit in regulation of attention. So the more interested someone is, the more engaged someone is, the more they have knowledge about something that they enjoy doing, I should say we, because I have the same problem, then we do not have difficulties with productivity. We don't have problems with attention or organization. High interest, we do not have problems with. In fact, we're often better than people without attention deficit because it's really hard for us to break away from high interest activities. However, with low interest activities, we have a heck of a time paying attention, not getting distracted, being impulsive, thinking about all different kinds of things that may or may not be related to what's going on. So attention deficit is really a deficit of regulation, either too much with high interest, too little with low interest, and often not very much in the middle. So this is why sometimes school is very difficult. It's very boring. It's hard to pay attention. It doesn't seem relevant, not interesting, although there's a lot of good teaching strategies that really help with that. But the one question that that has come up yesterday is if an adult is not crazy about taking medicine, can they get better at problems that they have? And does that improve attention in other ways? And the answer is very often, or yes. I'm working with a middle-aged fellow who has a fairly high-powered job, but he's always late. He tries, he's late, he tries, he's late. Like almost everybody else at work, they're interpreting this as not caring, not being interested, having a problem that is not related to anything that he intends. He would love to be on time. So he came and said, I just need to get help on this. So we started to use alarm clocks to set times for getting up, getting ready, getting dressed, having his meal, and the time that he needs to be walking out of the front door, needs to get in the car, and that if he stuck to these schedules, right, we would have then compensated for his difficulty in mostly thinking about how much time it would take for him to drive from his home to work, as opposed to considering all of the difficulties and struggles and time that it takes to get ready to go. And although this might be obvious to most people that don't have this problem, one of the issues that we struggle with is often a strategy deficit. We don't really think about the strategy that might change some of the things that are hard for us. So when we started working on this, and he realized, and we modified various times and so on and so forth, as we say always, when you set your alarms, number one, it's auditory, so you're not having to remember things or visual things that you might or might not have in front of you, like a calendar. And number two, the best way to do that is you can push snooze if you wish, because it's sometimes really hard for us to initiate and move, but you can't push stop until you're on your way, right? So the snooze might go off 1 or 2 or 3 times, but you know that you're going to hear it again and hear it again until you really got to move. So what began to happen is we modified things based on what he needs and what he does and so on and so forth. And his attention to attention was one of the comments that he continuously began to make as he paid more and more attention to moving, getting started, collecting things earlier, and getting out the door by the time he needed to get out the door. And another thing that really happened that was very, very insightful relative to the question at hand: did neurons improve even later at age, which most people really don't think they do much, although we always learn. Neuroplasticity we've talked about before. But one of the things that was most interesting is that he began to actually pay attention and generalize his attention to other things, including his relationship with his wife, which has been good. They like each other, but he drives her, quote unquote, crazy by not listening or responding in a different way. And again, he does not want to be taking medicine. But what he noticed is that as he started paying more and more attention to his alarm clock, the way he moved, what he did, what he didn't do that was helpful, and how much he enjoyed leaving the home. I mean, really enjoyed leaving the home and having plenty of time to get to work, which he did, and not honking the horn, having road rage, and, stepping on the gas. And he said, I really can kind of smell the roses when I know I got plenty of time. And so because of this reinforcement and how good it feels to be able to control something that wasn't in good control before, he started to say, I'm really noticing more that I've got to really be looking and paying attention to my wife when she talks to me. I'm really beginning to exercise my attention more at my work, more at home, more when I'm doing activities. Whenever I've been working on this issue of initiation, getting started and getting to places on time, and the amount of energy and effort that it takes to pay attention to attention, he's beginning to generalize this to other aspects of his life, which is very reinforcing because for all of it, he's had these difficulties. So I hope you enjoyed this story. We'll have many, many more. I'm going to be talking about social issues pretty soon. And so I hope you'll please let me know how these are coming across to you. Give me a jingle. Let me know. Email me, rweaver@weavercenter.org. And by all means, suggest other topics that you might want to hear about, because I've really enjoyed working with this fabulous group of folks at the Weaver Center for 30 years. Pretty cool. All right. Thanks. Be well. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.